Hi, my name's Ryan Seeley, and I interviewed my former high school government teacher, Troy Bunton. Troy Bunton is a AP government high school teacher at my former high school, Columbus East. He has been teaching there for about 13 years now. He started off in mostly history, but slowly became more progressively involved in the government program and having it involved in like AP college level credit for students. Um, when I interviewed Troy, I didn't do it in person. I did it over email because due to his tight schedule with his family and everything, and with all the stuff I've been going through with school at Purdue, we weren't able to meet up in person. So I didn't actually get to use all my listening skills that I've learned in the course to apply during an interview. But Troy was really helpful in having to explain how like vital listening is as a high school teacher, especially with your students and like sort of building trust with them. Students want to feel like in high school, they want to feel like they're a young adult and they're respected by someone who's older than them. And that really starts with listening. As a teacher, you want to make sure your students trust you, and so they're more open to you and actually buy into your subject that you're teaching. And one way to do that is just being consistent with them, like with your grading and everything, not showing favoritism to other students, just being a consistent grader. I've known Troy for 10 years, and he was always like a role model to me. And I took his class, and some of the times he just would take points off, and I kind of got mad because I was like, Troy, you've known me for so long, why would you do that? And he goes, because if I show favoritism to you, that makes other students look badly at me. So the main thing he did was he was consistent with everything. I really respected that about him. And he also respected me and all the other students. And that really helped with his class. It built trust. And like everyone feels so calm and confident with him when they're in his class. And it's really a great room to be in. Also, he talked to me about how it's not always the teacher's fault with listening. Students also have a lot of personal agenda problems when it comes to listening. Students always have cell phones on them, and then they want to try and text their friends, and it's really hard as a teacher to try and keep 30 students like involved with your subject that you're trying to teach because sometimes they don't buy into it. They're unmotivated learners, and they just don't think they need to learn about the U.S. government anymore. And so they try to pull out their phones and play games, and it's really hard for teachers to wrap their head around this concept of how to restrict the use of it. Troy implements a three strike system. He lets you use your notes on tests and quizzes, open notes, but if he catches you using your phone at the wrong time or just an inappropriate time, you get a strike. And if you get three strikes, then lose your notes. And anyone who's taken a test with notes know how easy it really is to get an A on that test or quiz. And taking the notes away, it almost becomes you feel like you're kind of blind. It's sort of like a college exam when no one tells you what's going to be on it. And also, he was talking about how he tries to incorporate like more real world connections to people, and how he really wants everyone to like kind of see the government like as it is today, not how it was 200 years ago when they were first writing up the Constitution. He wants to know why is the government how it is today. Like certain events throughout history have led up to it, and so that's another reason I think his class was so great. And finally, he told me that being a teacher isn't just teaching your subject. It's also about being able to be there for students when they have personal issues also. I know most students think like guidance counselors are there for it, but sometimes students feel sort of threatened to go to a guidance counselor because they don't know them as well. They don't see them every day. They don't talk to them on a daily basis. But like being a high school teacher, if you see a student every day and you slowly notice that they're having issues in the class or they're not showing up on time, as a teacher caring for your students, you see that, and so you want to talk to them, and in a sense, you sort of become a guidance counselor yourself, not just for that student, but that student will probably tell the other students how awesome you are at just listening to them and showing them how much you truly care about them, and then they'll tell other students, and then maybe they'll come to you. So at some point, you might not just be a teacher in your class. You could become a sort of quote unquote impromptu guidance counselor just for a kid's problems and help them out. And so that really helped me in seeing that listening is such a big part about being a teacher. It's not just listening during class to students talk to you. It's about listening to personal problems. and everything else that goes on with it. And so being a teacher is literally all about listening and being able to communicate effectively with your students and being seen as a respectful figure and building trust. And I think with this interview, that really solidified how much I need this course to actually help and understand how students act with listening and how I need to be a better listener as a teacher also. Thanks for watching.